We are now live. We are based in Colorado. This is the Althea Center for Engaged Spirituality. I'm Dr. Jonathan Ellerby, and we are doing something really exciting today. Probably one of the most amazing things I have been able to do on a Sunday, which is to join you wherever you are in the world with some people that are very, very special to me, important to me, inspiring to me, and they are known as the singing and performance group Amavevane. Amavevane, welcome to Althea and the world.
We fly.
So I am really excited for our community to meet you, and so we can hear you and talk to you, but we're going to do a couple of really boring things first, and I am going to do some very fast announcements and a little prayer. But I have to admit, I already feel like I can barely imagine saying anything more without people getting a chance to just really greet you. Can I give you a minute to say hello? And I don't know if you have a little, a musical greeting for a brief moment. Maybe that's better to start with.
Cool. First of all, before we do maybe the singing, we are so pleased, we are so excited. The mood is amazing here in Africa to be talking live to Dr. Jonathan and the whole people, the community of Althea. And all the guys are saying to you, hello, hello. Wait.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I just needed to hear your voices and see you. You know, I still have the crown for traditional dancing. I'm practicing, but it's not going very well. I'm going to have to come back as soon as possible to see you. Now, some people here in our community know that we were actually really hoping to have you in the United States this year, but then something happened. I can't remember what it was, but something stopped people from traveling. What was it? Oh, COVID. That's right. I almost forgot. So we're going to have to think of another way to do this, but hopefully it'll all be settled by next year. So for the people at Althea, quickly, let me give you a few announcements. Tomorrow night, that's Monday night, August 31st, I am really excited to have another exciting visitor, not quite as cool and amazing as these guys, but exceptional, extraordinary, and very special in another way. The author, the New York Times bestselling author, Thomas Moore, who many of you know from Care of the Soul, a legendary book that changed a lot of people's lives about 25 years ago, but he has since written almost a book a year, 26 books in total, and we will be doing a very special intimate conversation with Thomas Moore tomorrow night. You do have to sign up in advance. It is a small group Zoom. It is also helping us raise money. Althea needs your help during these difficult times to keep our building in great condition and keep our staff. So please, please make sure you consider donating today, but more importantly, join tomorrow night, and we'll have a wonderful time with Thomas Moore. Also, starting on September 8th, our Mariposa program is going to talk about LGBTQ issues and immigration. A fascinating and very important topic that's going to open your eyes on a lot more things than you would have imagined, including, let's see, I'm going to move to me. So I'm trying to make mine. We're getting feedback, and you now have two cameras on.
Yeah.
So the new, oh, you're going to drop the other one and keep the new one.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
I'm going to keep talking then. So if you want to check out what Tim's doing with the Mariposa program, please go online. We have a whole webpage dedicated to it. love across borders. It's something really special. I'll talk about it at the end of today after the boys, or I always call you boys because I met you 18 years ago. When the men leave, we can go over that again. And then we will be having a live gathering at our sanctuary next Sunday, as well as an online gathering. So if that's enough for announcements, I want to just do our opening prayer, and then I really want to get into our time with Amavevane. It's precious to have this time with them, and I'm so grateful this is working live, 8-hour time difference, halfway around the world. So with that, wherever you are, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes for a moment, and I'm going to ask you to connect with your breath. Deep breath in through your nose. Fill yourself with breath, with life force, and then hold it a moment. Hold it and notice where you're feeling tension or tightness, and then breathe it out as though you were releasing all the stress and busyness of the world, as though you were releasing all the uncertainty and chaos of the world. Again, a deep breath in, down into your belly, holding your breath, feeling the nourishing life force that is breath, our connection to the world, to spirit. Holding it, feeling that energy in our body, and then breathing out again, releasing any of our own fear, resistance, expectation, attachment, judgment, control. Just let it go. And then with your next breath, feel yourself settling into a quiet moment. Feel your body soften. Feel your heart opening. As we sense through this stillness and this silence that we are connected. That when our eyes are closed and our hearts are open, we can feel the world as it truly is, united. That wherever we are listening from, whenever we are listening from, in this moment, we are together. And we are as close as if we were standing side by side. And from this place of connection, we pray each in our own way, and yet together as one. To the divine, to the sacred, to the great mystery, to the one that is all, dear God. We are grateful for another day of life, another day to love, to learn, to let go. Today we commit our hearts to the prayer of peace and unity for all beings. Peace in our hearts as we learn to love and accept ourselves as we are. Peace and love for all who we share in our home, our friends, our family, our neighborhoods. Peace and love for our communities, our cities, wherever we are, and for all communities all over this planet, a blessing of awakening to the power of our connection, that we can bring goodness to each other, strength to each other, hope and healing for a broken world, prayers that all beings would awaken to the symphony of life and put down our division, our hatred, our fear, and pick up the instrument that is our life and play our own song with devotion to the one that is all, and the deep knowing that in this concert we will hear each other in a new way. And life will be beautiful. And struggles will be shared. And we will lift up each and all. Blessings for these prayers, for all that is in the hearts of each and everyone listening, and blessings for the beauty of our planet, our natural world, every mountain, every waterway, every plant and animal, all together, we will heal each other and live our truth as one. For those who are from the Althea community, you can join me, if you remember, in reading our statement of being as we affirm the oneness of all things. God is all, both invisible and visible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance, and we are individualized expressions of God and are ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Amen. I'm going to ask my brothers to, there you go. Welcome. Oh, future. I don't know what to say. This is the time where we get to talk and our community gets to share and meet you. But I sure love hearing you sing. To remind people, or if they don't know, I met Future first, at least 8 years ago, right?
Cool.
And we were in Zimbabwe. I was with a small group of people. We were visiting a very beautiful and powerful man, Mandaza Kandemwa in Zimbabwe, in Bulawayo. And he said, you know, we have a special gift for you. You have to meet these young brothers of mine. They're like my children. I love these boys because, I mean, it was 18. It was 18 years ago. I can't even believe that. Now, how many of you, and I'm sorry, because over the years, we've seen each other again and again and again. So I now feel like I know all of you. But maybe can you go around, introduce everybody, and then just maybe you can say how long everyone's been with you, because some of you have met much more recently, and then others a long time ago. So, Future, do you want to do some introductions?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. It's evening here in Africa, by the way. I'm not sure. I guess it's still morning there in Colorado, in Denver. First of all, I would like to thank the opportunity. I've got this belief that we say music connects people, because if it wasn't for music, we wouldn't be here and we wouldn't know Dr. Jonathan Ellerby, who we met how many years? 19 years ago in Zimbabwe. Yeah. You have said that. So it's quite amazing to still be talking to you after a decade of knowing each other. You have revisited Africa time and again. You have brought groups of beautiful people, some of which we're still communicating until today. And I guess this evening, we're going to make more friends, because for us, it's about making friends with communities and everybody else out there. So yeah, basically this is the group called Amavevane. Amavevane, it simply means butterflies. Butterflies. So we have decided to name ourselves like we are the butterflies, because remember, a butterfly is just an amazing, beautiful, creature. Is found there outside, with some lovely bright colors. It just keeps on doing some peace. It doesn't fight. If you look at a butterfly, you can see some amazing colors, different sorts of colors, like orange butterflies, which we believe that orange color means we are passionate about what we have been doing 24 years ago. We got some blue butterflies, which represent the sky and the universe. So that's what we believe also. And we got another butterfly that we have, an orange one, an orange, a pink one, yes. A pink butterfly. Pink is good. Ladies, they love some pink colors. So this is a way of trying to define ourselves as a music and dance group, to say ourselves, we are the butterflies. We just travel from one place to another, showing our beauty, of which in this case, our beauty is just our music and some dancing. Yes, over to you, Jonathan.
Thank you. So after you introduce each one for us and tell us how long they've been with you, maybe you can also tell us about some of your recent work, like your message for the world. And since we've met, you've traveled a little bit. So maybe you can do those introductions and then tell us a little bit about your mission.
Yes, I'll do that. All right, perfect. So first of all, today I'm here with how many guys? 6 guys. Amavevane a Capella has got 9 performing staff, I would say crew. The 10th guy, I'm not sure if you can see him, he's just seated, he's just a technical member. So we are 9 performers and 1 guy who does the marketing and the technical stuff. So I'll start introducing from the guy on my left wearing an orange shirt. He's a naughty one, this one, he likes dancing. Okay, fine, his name is Slinganiso. He has been with the group for how many years, sir? 17 years. 17, 18 years. He has been with Amavevane for 17 and 18 years. So he's one of the guys who lost his parents at a very young age. I can still refer to Mandaza's with Dr. Mandaza when he told you that most of the group members, some they lost their parents. So instead of loitering around and going to the streets, he decided to come and join this group so that he could spend more time singing and forgetting about the struggles and the troubles of the world. Thank you very much. We got Sam here, the tallest guy, he's the tallest in the group. Okay, enough. So he's also a member of Amavevane group. He's been here for 10 years or 9 years, or if I'm not mistaken, is it 10 or 9? Yeah, yeah, somewhere. Yeah, you will forgive me, my mathematics is not good. That's why these guys are cheating me with money issues sometimes. But he's also a wonderful guy. Oh, both of them, they sing bass. Because in our a cappella group, we don't just sing like voices. There are some parts, the basses, the altos, the tenors, so that at the end of the day, we bring, a beautiful combination. So his name is Sam. Then behind me here, he is Lucky, a powerful guy who sings the most beautiful small part. We don't call it soprano in this regard, we call it an alto. He's the guy who sings alto. He thinks he's handsome, but I don't think he's so handsome. So he has been with the group also for how many years? 15 years. He's a legend. Thank you very much. Here is Musa. 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 This is Dr. Jonathan. This is the guy who keeps all our, our assets, like our inventory, merchandise and all those sorts of things, CDs. So next time if you come to Africa, you wanna purchase anything, you speak to this guy. His name is Musa. He has been with the group also for how many years? You speak to yourself. So
5.
5 years. He's still new, but he's top notch. He's amazing. I love him so much. Thank you very much. Oh, look at this one. If you remember very well, that was in 2012. No, not 2004 or wait. You know these guys, they like talking. That's why sometimes I hit them with a stick. Okay. He met you in first time when you came to Africa. He's one of the guys who were dancing with you. Remember, they could give you that traditional outfit, and you were dancing. He's one of the guys. By then, he was still young. So he has been with the group for a long time, 14, 15, 16 years, somewhere there. So unfortunately, 3 of our crew, they are not, his name is Ezekiel. His name is Ezekiel. Thank you. So 3 guys are not with us tonight. The other one is called Emmanuel. We got the other one called Bonisi, and the other one called Mloiswa. So for some reasons, they are at work. But the majority of the guys, we are here because we are trained to a point that we could still carry on doing some work, because irrespective of not having all the 9 members of the group, for some reasons, like I've mentioned, that we are here in South Africa, originating from Zimbabwe. So we are working in restaurants, are working in construction company, others elsewhere. So now talking about the pandemic, the COVID-19, our lives have been, a little bit messed up also. So if you get an opportunity to go and work so that you can also help to put food on the table, we just do that. But this, talking about tonight, this is the most important time for us, Dr. Jonathan, to be talking to you and the people around the world, mostly based in the US, to the community of Althea. Is so amazing. Over to you.
So, we're going to put your PayPal link up because we know you're producing some new songs. We want people to know you have an amazing new song about unity on iTunes. It's amazing. Really, it's beautifully produced. Yep. It's as good as any Umfalosi out there.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you a question, and this is a little bit serious. Okay. So you talked a little bit about how music was helpful, and I'm going to guess not just for one of you, but for all of you. Not only because it's something you enjoy and you love, but your group is mostly, as I remember, from Zimbabwe and from South Africa, and most of you you're now in Johannesburg because of instability in South Africa. In Zimbabwe. And then, of course, we all know about the history of South Africa. Now, here in the United States, people are facing the topic of race and racism in a new way. And what's very different here is that for many years, some of the people in this country believed maybe there wasn't a problem anymore. that if people were not black, if people were not of color, it was easy to think, oh, we live in the best democracy in the world, everybody's free, everybody's safe. But it's not true, and we know that. And what we have seen because of social media is how painful the division is in this country, and how much oppression there is still in this country against all kinds of people, people of color, LGBTQ, in some cases women, or in many cases women, and of course for Black Americans. Your countries both have a long history of facing this pain and much worse stories. But you as a group have always been so positive, so happy, so hopeful, so full of hope. What do you think people here need to learn that you, in your communities, your families, maybe in your group, that you have already discovered about how we're going to make things better, how we're going to work together? Do you have advice? Is music a part of it? Is forgiveness a part of it? Is fighting a part of it? I don't think people here have any clue what's next. How do we come together? What do you have to say about your experience of healing, of finding hope, and there's still so much more work to do?
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. The question is loud and clear. So for us, the message is clear. We believe that music is that one instrument that carries the whole message. You know, we believe that as we keep on, singing, people should, listen, give a listening ear, because music is just a universal language that speaks volumes. So we are looking also at what's happening around the world, including here, in our countries in Africa and elsewhere overseas. So we are also concerned and troubled, and our wish is that one day, if all people could come together and all people just, could carry some love, some peace within themselves, then we think this whole world will be a better place. Because now, even here in South Africa, where we are, there is this campaign for gender-based violence and other sorts of things, some xenophobic attacks. You can think of a lot of things, even back home where we come from. That's the reality, unfortunately, we will have to say it. So as musicians, what we try to do at the end of the day is we compose songs in line with what's happening around the world. And we think and we pray that one day, when people are just listening to our music, let that music just not be entertainment, but let them hear the message which is calling people to forgive each other and just to be one. You know what I'm saying, Dr. Jonathan? So this is just as simple as saying music keeps people, together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Boy, there's so much I want to ask you, but I know you don't have a lot of time left with us. Would you, so what I'm going to do, maybe I'll make some comments after you leave to our community about this important message you said, but could you tell us the meaning of your new song, and then we'd love you to perform whatever you like.
Yeah, thank you. So we recently released a single. It's just one song, and maybe it might be difficult for my friends out there to pronounce it, but I will ask the technical guy to send you some stuff later. The name of the song is called Kubukalanga. So it means it just refers to back home, where we all come from. So the song in general talks about, it says in simple terms, there is no place like home. So we were singing that old traditional folk song in remembrance of what used to happen when our forefathers and our mothers, when they grew up, they would be, I mean, when they were located elsewhere, maybe due to some work or some other reasons, they will then start to sing and remembering home where they come from. And they will start praising their communities, saying there is no place like home. But we did this song in a very, beautiful manner, because we combined it with another traditional song, again, best known to our communities. The song talks about holding hands together. You see what I was talking about? Like, it's inviting people to come together, irrespective of their language, irrespective of their race, irrespective of the color of skin, irrespective of nationality, but it's calling upon everybody to come together, to be in one place, and hold their hands. And start anticipating for a greener pasture or some light. So we just saying, even if we are going through some difficulties, it could be wars, it could be hunger, it could be some corona. Yeah, we're talking about the pandemic now, coronavirus. But we are saying with this song that we're gonna sing now, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. So people should have hope that we should walk through everything. For example, like what's happening in the United States, we are also watching from our televisions. We see this and that. So we believe, we are saying to the people of America, one day everything will pass and everybody will be happy again, and they will, they will love each other. Thank you very much.
Well, we are going to put the name of your song up, and we know that you're busy trying to produce some more music right now. We also know that South Africa has been devastated by COVID. Of course, men in your group, businesses are closing down and so on, and we can't get a paycheck. So we are going to put your PayPal link up. And if people want to make a contribution, whether it's $5 or $5,000, we are happy to encourage what you're doing. But before we lose you, please, would you be willing to share your song or whatever song you choose?
Thank you. We're gonna sing you the song Kubukalanga, the one that we just released now. Thank you. So, that one's a still standing there. Yes. Okay, sorry for that. Just want to do it the way we want to do it. Yeah. Everybody loves you, loves you. Love you. Everybody loves you. Loves you. Everybody loves, everybody loves you. The mighty child, I love you tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. It was such a pleasure. I know you have to go, and we'll see you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I have to just quickly close out there, folks. And wow. So I need a moment here. I'm trying to remove them from the call. I think I'm doing it right. Sorry, folks. There's a little delay here. I'm trying to stop their video, but it won't. There we go. Whew. So, you know, for me, I guess as some of you may find it hard to relate, you know, having known these guys over the years, I mean, really, literally, I met them, I guess it was 19 years ago. I've been fortunate to take groups to Africa about every 2 years since then. Not always exactly, but more or less. You know, and wherever I go in Southern Africa with a group to learn about traditional culture and traditional healing, they come find us, you know, so we either end up where they are or they come up to where we are. We've seen them in South Africa, in Johannesburg. We've seen them in the Venda villages. We've seen them up in Bulawayo. Gosh, I think I've seen them other places. And as we in this country, in the United States, where this is being, you know, broadcast or whatever you want to call it, it is easy to not fully grasp what we are really in the middle of right now as a culture, as a community. When I say it's not easy, I mean we tend to the unmanaged mind, it tends to move to extremes. So we either kind of minimize what we're doing here in this moment of changing culture and race relations and gender relations and fighting the fear and division in this community. You know, it's easy to think this is like a year that we just have to push at it with lots of advertising and banners and videos, but it's going to be so much more than that. We look at countries like South Africa and the end of apartheid, and we are still healing from that. We're still growing through that. We're still learning from that. And the legacy of what families have endured is being carried forward. And even those who advocate change on either side of an issue, they have been wounded by the past, which makes our dialogues harder. It makes listening harder, but we have to do it. And so it's so inspiring. Well, and the other extreme I was going to say is that, you know, it just looks so daunting, so overwhelming. You know, we have a sense that it's so pervasive and requires so much work, you know, unlike the ones of us that just hope that, you know, it's a couple of good years of, you know, cheerleading unity and we're all going to be beyond it. And then there's those of us that just see it's such a daunting task and this is going to take decades to undo centuries of hurt. Regardless of your perspective, we can look around the world. We've got to look beyond our own experience and see that there are other countries that have faced this, or other communities that have faced this, and we can do it too. And then you see this group of men, you know, who all have to work day jobs, but have absolute faith in the importance of the arts, of music, of creativity, of continuously sharing the message of togetherness and connection, you know, really regardless of what you do, right? I mean, part of the gift of what they do is it's sort of like saying, if you're a bird, sing. If you're a fish, swim. If you're a writer, write. If you're a baker, bake. Whatever you are uniquely in this world, and I mean you, whatever your talents are, you can communicate unity through that. You know, helping people to vote is going to be important. Volunteering at charities is going to be important. Donating to Althea, donating to Amavevane, that's all important. Getting your hands involved in change work is important. But the power of song reminds us that the real change in the world that we crave starts with consciousness. It starts with love. It starts with a commitment to an attitude. And that is something that we can share wherever we are. That's in how we speak to people. That's in the references and the inclusivity that we look for. When I read a book to my daughter and 9 out of 10 of them have male pronouns, I change them. I change them. When we write stories about the world, when we choose movies, when we communicate ideals, are we being inclusive? Not just not racist, but are we being anti-racist? Are we singing a song of harmony in all that we do? And I feel that for me, Amavevane has absolutely always taught me that. And that hope and inspiration is not even about seeing the changes we want. It's about staying committed to the possibility that there are changes yet to come. Think about that. You know, Amavevane, these men, I mean, I'm going to just say it. I mean, some of them have come from very, very difficult, very painful backgrounds. And Zimbabwe is a country, I mean, I think a lot of people know, is a country that has had endless unrest internally. And yet still, they show hope. Still, they are committed to their message. And it's not because things are perfect now. It's because they believe in the power of hope and the power of hoping. That the reason why we need to be optimistic, the reason why we need to look forward, the reason why we are hopeful is not because we're getting what we want, but it's because we know it's possible one day. And that kind of vision, that kind of affirmation, which is very much like the very roots of the Althea community, that affirmation of what is possible and who we really are is something that we have to commit to each and every day of our lives, regardless of what we do and who or what we think we are. I could go on and on about this today, but I do know there's a time delay. And I know the technology is not perfect, so of course, some of you are going to be writing in to let us know that there were delays or glitches and the audio for them wasn't perfect. But, you know, we wanted to do something different and special. Next Sunday's live session will be, quote, normal. And then the Sunday after that, I'll have a special guest speaker with me in dialogue, a very influential mentor of mine, Mark Samuel, really a genius in the world of business development and leadership development, He has a great book actually called Be State that I just love. Mark has changed my life. Tomorrow night, Thomas Moore. Thomas Moore, the New York Times bestselling author, will be with Althea, a live, intimate Zoom call, and you can be a part of it. Please go to the website and sign up today. Thomas Moore has some new workshops and programs coming up. We'd love you to know about those. A very powerful teacher who's been around a very long time. If you don't know who Thomas Moore is, check him out. It'll be a very special conversation. It's also a fundraiser for us, so as many of you that can sign up as possible, that would be fantastic. Speaking of fundraiser, donations are as important as ever right now. We are returning to the building in September. We will be doing 9:30, 45-minute indoor services every Sunday in September. We will also be doing the online service, but it's not the same without as many classes, without as many renters. Althea, as an in-person live community organization, we're definitely facing financial challenges. And if you love what we stand for, if you love the kind of things that we're doing, it sounds like a PBS fund drive all of a sudden, but it's true. If you love the fact that we are growing in this difficult time, that we are connecting around the world with South Africa, that we're going to have New York Times bestselling author Thomas Moore tomorrow night. If you like this, if you believe the world needs this, then remember that your donation now not only goes to support us having staff in a building, but it helps us to share messages that now anybody on the planet with a computer and the internet can find. And that means that this broadcast, next week's broadcast, tomorrow night's broadcast, all these things are a part of what you are doing for the world by showing up, by sending your love, by staying committed to the community and the journey, and by your donations. I'm very excited by what we're doing. I hope you are too. I hope you feel that now is a fertile time for growth and change and creativity and innovation in your life. We don't know what the future is going to bring with COVID. We don't know what the future is going to bring in this country with race relations. But in the Althea community, we stand with all those who stand for unity. We stand with all those who stand for listening to all sides of a story. We stand for the end of injustice, racial, sexual, gender, cultural. There can be no doubt. It's not a political statement. When you believe in the oneness of spirit, then you know that spirit is in each and every voice. And that when there is violence, when there is hatred, when there is division, we absolutely know in our hearts that that's a place where people haven't yet felt the unity of spirit. And that pain of division becomes a twisted fear. And that twisted fear becomes actions of hate. But we know that that is not the essence of humanity. We know that the story of humanity is evolution. It's change, it's healing, it's a movement towards inclusivity. If you look back just 200 years, even 100 years, 100 years ago, women in this country couldn't vote. Native American people, indigenous people couldn't vote. Black people couldn't vote. And 100 years later, all that has changed, slowly, painfully, but it has changed. And every kid in this country that grows up with a smartphone is seeing people of all genders, all races, all sexualities on their movies and their Instagrams. The world is coming together, and it cannot be stopped. It doesn't matter what happens in the short term. Unity cannot be stopped because division does not last. It is not sustainable. And this is not a philosophical opinion or a political opinion. This is what science has shown us. This is what spiritual tradition has shown us. There is no plant or animal that thrives and endures on this planet when selfishness and dominance is their way of being. When one suffers, we all suffer. We know it from nature. We know it from science. We know it from social development, from psychology, and we know it from our spiritual tradition. The truth is, we are one, and that's what we stand for. So with that, I invite you to close today in prayer with me. Thank you for being here for this amazing experiment. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't perfect technologically, but I sure loved it. And I invite you to close your eyes now. Take a big, deep breath into your heart. Find some stillness, find some silence. And let us pray together as one heart, one mind. Dear God, to the great mystery, the one that is all, to all who watch over, angels, ancestors, grandmothers, grandfathers, to all that is of the light, hear our prayer for peace and wholeness on this planet. Heal the pain of division in the hearts of all beings. May we each and all awaken to our unity in spirit, to our oneness in spirit, to our shared energy, to our shared consciousness, that we, through that knowing, might find the confidence of life and its beauty and its possibility. In that oneness, may we know our own unique creative force to create change and bring harmony and peace back to the world. Dear God, dear Spirit, to every freedom fighter, justice maker, peace maker, every parent, every child, every lonely, lost, broken person, everyone facing the human journey with a longing for greater wholeness, we hold in our hearts and we lift up in absolute faith that oneness is the way, and we call for that way to be with us today. For all these prayers and the prayers that remain unspoken in our heart, together we say, Amen. Thank you, one and all. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night with Thomas Moore. Looking forward to seeing you online and live next Sunday. I love you all, and take care.